What kind of assignment is this?
Why are these teachers so salty?
So something that's been popular on the internet that we thought we'd show you is some funny test answers that kids did.
Test answers. Oh, so this is when they'd be like a really sarcastic answer?
I've seen a couple of these before, randomly on the internet, because I thought they were funny.
I used to have one of those books, the F in exams books, and I would my mom and I used to just read through them every night.
It would be like, find X, and then they'll point at X or whatever. It's, they're clever. I like them.
Kids can be pretty savage. They're pretty savage.
Say and write. Cow, bird, cat, dog. Teachers, you can't make tests like this and not expect this to happen.
It was like a duck. Instead of duck, he wrote
That's funny. Oh, poor kid.
This probably must have been a kid who heard their parents say it all the time.
Oh no! Why do you think it's a bad word? It's clearly a duck.
I like how the teacher wrote in D. If I was the one reading through this, I'd be like, all right.
What is your favorite hue? Jackman. That's funny. Honestly, I would have been the same way. I've been like, I don't know, Jackman.
It makes sense. I mean, I would have put Jackman.
See, if it's clever, she should have gotten it right. Dude, if I was that teacher, I'd give him 100%.
That's a question though where they could take a dive because it's a question asking what's your favorite color.
How are these kids that clever? I don't think when I was a kid and I took these tests, I was even thinking like that.
Tony practices the piano 20 minutes every day. Effect, he is a big nerd. That's sad. I used to play piano.
Come on, man, piano's cool. There's not much else to say other than, yeah, he's a nerd.
I don't even know what the effect would be. He's good at the piano? That could have gone so many ways.
What kind of answer are they looking for? He's just a decent piano player. What kind of, is this learning consequences of things?
You could tell the handwriting, it's like a little kid saying all this stuff. Just think comedy gold right there.
I've seen this one before. To change centimeters to meters, you just take out the centi.
More or less. That's not really clever.
I mean, they're not wrong because, cent is 100.
What was she expecting him to put on that question? No, that makes sense. You take out centi.
I love stuff like this. I don't know why, because it's just like I would never think of it.
Dude, these kids are so clever. Peter, expand. Hat.
So he has to expand A plus B to the power of N. And instead of actually expanding it, he just kept writing it further and further and further apart.
He just wrote it bigger and bigger.
Very funny, Peter. It's a good teacher. But she still marked it wrong.
I wish I did this kind of stuff when I was doing algebra.
If I ever get into a situation where I don't know the answer to the question on the test, this is what I have to do next time.
Can you draw this ship? No. At least he's honest.
I think I would have did the exact same thing. I would have just put no.
That looked like a really hard ship to draw too. What class would you have to, I guess art.
What kind of assignment is this to draw that really nice detailed ship? I can't even draw a stick figure.
I'd write the same thing. I'm an awful artist. So. It's even a hard ship to draw. I mean, look at that. Look how many sails it's got.
Just about everyone else can't draw that ship, so why even try?
Circle, rectangle, hexagon, pentagon, square, triangle, rhombus.
Cup and saucer, that's funny. Really? Oh, he drew it on. That's good. That's clever.
Bro! And the teacher put really?
That really seems almost passive-aggressive to me. I feel like if you have a student who does that, you should think they're a genius.
I should just stop leaving things blank and just fill it in with something clever. It's life hack.
What do you think is the best solution to overpopulation? Support your argument with examples. The Hunger Games.
Oh no, that is not a good solution.
He's not wrong. That or a battle royale. Not Fortnite, original Japanese battle royale kind of thing.
I was a huge Hunger Games fan back in the day, and I would say that that is definitely a good solution to overpopulation.
I suppose you'd have to have a lot of Hunger Games for that to be population control. That certainly would be a weird spectacle to watch.
That kid was thinking outside of the box, and she didn't mark it wrong, so. Except he didn't support his argument with examples, so, some teachers might give half credit.
You were to assume the role of a Chinese immigrant in 1870 and write a letter home describing your experiences.
I suppose they did do it very accurately. I'm just curious if they wrote a bunch of nonsense or if this actually makes sense.
Maybe he just used Google Translate and wrote it out.
That's so good though, because if the teacher doesn't speak Chinese, you kind of have to give him full credit.
That is smart, and that deserves 100%.
This is the most creative one. I would have been shook as a teacher. I would have been like, wow.
Please color Danish flag, Swedish flag, Finnish flag.
know, I get it.
That's the finished flag. Like, that's what it looks like when you finish a race.
I'm just confused. Like, when did we learn about, like, how to, like, color flags?
Why are these teachers so salty? These are great.
Honestly, if I were their teacher, I'd give them more points for coming up with stuff like this.
This lets you show that, like, as a kid, your creativity is, like, kind of at its peak. Like, you're really thinking.
It's funny when you can tell they're, like, little kids in ways they're smarter than us. Like, I wouldn't come up with those jokes that easily.
I can never do it. I'm like sitting there and I'm stressed out, like sweating because I don't know the answer.
I wish I were clever enough to make something up like that. I would be too afraid to take a dive with my grade.
Thanks for watching this episode of The Tens on the React channel.
Don't miss out. Subscribe.
If you like this episode, hit that like button.
Want to see more test answers? Let us know in the comments.
Bye, guys.
Hi, I'm Katie, a React channel producer. Thank you so much for watching this episode. Be sure to subscribe and hit the check mark so you know when we have new episodes. Bye.